Now, with that being said, let me talk about some things. I know that Sandy, when you and I moved out of Griffin, we were gone for a while before we went back and really into Griffin. We went back to visit family, but not specific. And the first thing I ran into was Robert.
Yeah, he's on. He's back on.
Robert's back on?
Yeah.
The first thing I ran into was Robert Pugh, and I specifically drove from Florida up to Griffin to meet Robert Pugh because it was his first day with Nobody's Street Ministry. Robert, do you remember that day, that first day of Nobody's Street Ministry? And we go into Griffin, and Robert's out there, and he starts to preach, and he starts to preach. I said, Robert, I feel like I should walk around the square here and pray. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna pray everywhere I put my feet. You know, God's Holy Spirit's on me. But I believe God took me a trip around downtown Griffin so that I could recognize the changes and things I didn't know. I saw a church. Robert, do you remember down on Broad Street? There was a church that was right next to this New Age bookstore.
Yeah.
That had all these candles and all these healing stones and all these things. And then there were palm readers, and there was fortune tellers, and there was magic shops, and there was all these all kinds of New Age shops and vape shops and all the and I had never noticed that in Griffin before. As long as I was living there, I never really paid it any attention. Yeah. I had to leave and come back, and God says, go pray around this area. And I was praying, and I was recognizing, wow, the spiritual effect of this, the spiritual effect of this, the spiritual effect of this. And this is what we're talking about, is spirits have a control of a region, and they work through there, and we're seeing this become more and more and more just out in the open. Used to, a lot of these things were, you know, on the back alley streets or hidden. But I want to tell you that I've come up with a list of some type of external sources of false revelation. Okay, we understand, what does it say in the Bible? In the last days there'll be false prophets. Sometimes we think the false prophets are in the church, but I'm telling you, there's also false prophets in the land. There's always been false prophets in the land.
I'd say the media is a false prophet.